Greetings, dear listeners. Easter is approaching, so thoughts naturally turn to the subject of, well, rabbits, of course. The Easter Bunny, eh? We have wild rabbits in this neck of the woods. Okay, this neck of the bald prairie. They often come into our yard. But these are not little cottontail rabbits. What we have are snowshoe rabbits, huge beasts, 2 feet long and capable of leaping 15 to 20 feet. According to zoologist Herbert S. These critters are actually hares. Hares, not rabbits. But the way they bounce around makes me wonder if they're related to the kangaroo. Strangely, occult history provides as many examples of evil people, witches and warlocks, evil people transforming themselves into rabbits, as into werewolves. In Human Animals, author Frank Hamel writes, quote, "A witch called Julian Cox, aged about 70 years, was indicted at Taunton in Somerset in 1663 for transforming herself into a hare and for other sorcery." End of quote. At her trial, Hamel tells of a huntsman who had captured a hare and who testified, and please excuse the archaic language, quote, "As soon as he laid hands on her, it proved to be Julian Cox, who had her head groveling on the ground and her globes, as he expressed it, upward. He, knowing her, was so affrighted that his hair on his head stood on end, and yet spake to her and asked her what brought her there. But she was so far out of breath that she could not make him any answer. And the huntsman went home presently, sadly affrighted." End of partial quote. Hamel also tells of another witch who would milk cows, while in the shape of a hare. Well, I wonder if the local critters can do that. They'd be a great help with chores down on the farm. Hamel concludes, quote, "The hare has always been closely associated with witches, and for this reason seems to be of evil augury, though in some parts of the country its foot, rabbit's foot, its foot and sometimes its head are used as a protection against sorcery. The cat runs the hare very close in its association with witches and is a handy animal for transformation purposes, being so frequently met with in this country." End of quote. In M.R. James's classic ghost story, The Ash Tree, which I have adapted on this channel, the witch, Mrs. Mothersoul, escapes capture by taking the form of a hare. Knowing of the connection between witchcraft and hares, I've always wondered about our rabbits in their white winter fur, prowling around the yard during the watches of the night. Are they just mammals, part of the natural world? Or are they were-rabbits? I'm awake while others sleep, sitting at the dining room table and watching scary stuff on YouTube. At 3 a.m. the other night, long after the darkness had taken control, Mortis Media was lulling me to sleep when I suddenly became aware that a face was staring in at me through the dining room window. It was thin, corpse white, with glowing red eyes. But it also had a twitchy nose and 2 floppy ears. It was a rabbit, a huge one, staring in at me. And then it laughed and was gone. The window ledge was a good 6 feet off the ground, so how did it get up there? Was it standing on a snowdrift or something? I should have gone out and looked, but truth to tell, I was too scared. Instead, I went to bed and dreamed of rabbits. But they weren't like the Easter Bunny, more like Bunnicula, the red-eyed vampire rabbit in that old kid's book. I forced myself awake when carnivorous bunnies began tearing me apart with their buck teeth. In the morning I looked. There was no snowbank under the window, nothing the rabbit could have stood on. So how did it get up there? Was it a witch leering in at me, mocking me? Or was it just a hallucination, the result of being overtired? What do you think it was, dear listeners? Or should I rephrase that question to, what's up, Doc? If this is your first visit to my channel, please consider subscribing. My name is Warren, and I write and tell original ghost stories and original horror stories featuring such cryptids as the Night Floaters, Werewolves, and the Black-Eyed Children. So again, please consider subscribing. Please help me to reach my goal of 2,500 subs. Till midnight. Cheers. And keep on hopping. Boing, 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 boing.
Scared you, didn't I? Yeah.